Welcome back to the Professor Plum YouTube channel, and today we are putting an INSINKORATOR in this lovely sink here in this kitchen. So we need to get the INSINKORATOR first, which the customer said the cleaner has left in the cupboard, which is padlocked. And there's no key. Yeah, it just fell off in my hand, mate. Can I reuse it? Oh fuck, that's so hot. Shit, fuck. Damn, that's hot. Do you know what? It was the wrong cupboard. No, only joking. There it is. Our INSINKORATOR. So, let me grab it out and we'll get it fit. God, these are heavy. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you clear all of your workspace. Usually the customer does it for you, but David, you're a prick. Right, so we need to first off see that we need a spare plug. There's a plug. Have we got enough room? Have we got enough height? Yes, I think we do. And there is our waste outlet. So it actually looks like quite a nice, easy one to actually work with. So we need to disconnect this washing machine hose here, which literally fell off. And we're just going to put that down there out the way. So now we need to make sure you wear gloves and you disconnect your trap. So we're going to disconnect the trap. We're also going to disconnect this bit up here. Oh, look, there's another appliance valve in there. Lovely jubbly. So we're going to have to find somewhere to put that as well. Right, so let's gently get that out. Oh, forgot to disconnect that, didn't I? Oh, you git. See if I can disconnect that. Right, there we go. And then you just obviously just want to pull this away. I nearly did it. Now hopefully we can keep that and reuse it later on. Right, so now we have to actually get the plug hole out. Now I'm going to use a big flat chisel. You can tell it's a plumber's one, not a carpenter's chisel. And then that can go in there. And we're going to unwind. And that will take out the waste kit. So let's go underneath so you can see what it's doing. And then we're just disconnecting that. Just get that all the way out. And that, luckily, we're not going to have to replace or reuse. We're going to throw that away. Let's have a little look and see what it's like underneath. Oh, lovely. And there's a great big rubber, so we're going to get that out and we're going to clean that all up. You're giving me the best day of my life. Right, if you know who that artist is, you've got to leave it in the comments. I bet there's a lot of people that will not know that. She famously did a collaboration with Eminem. Although, then again, you lot are probably too young to remember Eminem. But one day, he was a cool rapper, even though he was white. Can you believe it? Right, so we're going to clean this up, disinfect it, wipe it all up. That's exactly what I use. Definitely not the customers. Right, wipe that round. Oh. And there we go. That is ready to put the new one in. So let's start putting on the new bits. Now this is where this one is a little bit confusing because you look at it and you're like, oh, how does that go? How does that work? So first off, we need to kind of take it apart. So all we're going to do is I'm gonna come on, talk Sam properly. English words. We're going to undo these screws. And all we're going to do is we're just going to loosen all those off. Now all we're doing is we are lowering this section down, like so. Now we're not going to take these screws all the way out. Now you can see here, you've got this like big old ring that runs all the way around, and you see that it's kind of separate from the rest. We need to get that out. So I've got my little file chisel thing here, and all we're going to do is just pop that off. Now, once that's off, this whole thing, look, just comes apart. So we're going to take all of this triangle part apart, like this, and then all we're left with is this one here. Now, you see this piece of cardboard, obviously that is not a seal. we're going to get rid of that. Now, somewhere in your bag of fittings, you're going to find that you've got a large rubber one. Now, that goes in there, or over this piece. And this is obviously the piece that you're going to see from above, that goes straight through the countertop, through the sink. Now, this works on stainless steel sinks, and also, obviously, butler's sinks or ceramic sinks like this one. So, let's get it put back together, and you basically have to put it back the same way, but after dropping this through there. Right, as you can see, we got that through there. Now, I'm not going to use any silicone or anything. This seal's actually pretty good, and that will seal up nicely. Now, oh, look, I get in trouble because I'm on YouTube. Oh, you shouldn't be putting silicone around that. You don't need silicone. Well, look, I'm a plumber of 15 years. Therefore, right, I have the superiority to say this is the correct way of doing it. Yeah, it is. It's different. What are you going to do? Oh, comment. Set your own YouTube channel. Set your own YouTube channel. Then you can tell people how to do it properly. So there we go. Oh, that sits in there. Oh, lovely. Look. Squeezed all out the sides. Looks bloody pucker. Well, I've always used plumber's mate. Yeah, because you're 60 years old. It's only plumbers in their 60s that still use plumber's mate. You know what I mean? Okay, so you're underneath, you're looking up. We've got to put this kit on. So, it's so awkward anyway, but this is, I think it's not very deep, this cupboard. It's even harder. So, plate goes on first. That silicone, look, is going to hold that on for me. Oh, lovely. Quite clear. So it goes this one, then this one. Now, obviously, in that triangle formation, you know exactly where that's going to sit, like that. And then this is usually the hard bit, which is getting this O-ring back on. So, get it right. Oh, come on. Trust me, it's no fun. There we go. Nearly. There we go. Right. So that's all on all the way around. Just check it. Make sure that that's not falling off. Then, where is my screwdriver? So I've got this ratchet and screwdriver, which I'm going to use to do these up. So all we're going to do is we're going to wind these up. Just pinch them up. And then tighten up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do what we usually do, which is tighten things up in tandem. Same as if you were replacing the wheel on your car. You don't want to over tighten one side and then tighten up the next and then tighten up the next. You've got to do it in tandem. So you do a little bit at a time on each of the three corners. The 3 points of the triangle, should we say. And that way it will all flatten out nice and even as you're doing it up. There we go. Right, so now that's tight, you can see all of the silicone squidged out. I'm just going to give that a quick clean up. And you can see, because it's quite a thin metal, it sort of folds round. That's why really you only need the washer, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. You don't have to go out and get a load of silicone and a silicone gun. You can just rely on the washer. Right, so what is actually left? So if we actually have a look in the kit, you can see there's not really anything we need for this bit to put it straight on. This whole moulding, as you can see, is rubber. This is all rubber all the way around the edge. So that is what creates the seal. It's already on there and it's already part of the fins and everything else. So we can have a little look inside, see what's going on. You see there the blades there. And it's hard to really get an angle on them, but you can see they sort of pivot and spin as the the motor spins that round, and then there's 3 little blades, and that is what mashes up and chops up your food. So the only thing we need to actually put this on is this thing here, which you think, oh, it's an Allen key, what am I doing up? Well, you're not really doing anything up. What you're doing is you're putting it in there and you're using it as leverage to turn this. So what we're actually looking at, as far as what is actually doing things up, is, can you see these hooks here? So you've got one beside each of these loops, right? And these are what are going to catch on. And then as you turn this, it tightens up. So you get an understanding of how it works. These are the rails that those hooks go on. And as you turn it, it travels up these because they're sloped upwards, and that pulls everything up too. So you want to get it onto these rails here. You see there's 3 rails there, and there's 3 hooks correlating. Right, so whilst it's out on the counter and it's easy to get to, we're actually going to put this piece on the side, which is your waste outlet. So you can see this piece here. This does not take a pipe inside of it. What it does is it actually takes the trap. So the trap goes straight onto that piece there. Now this top piece here is to take in a washing machine feed. So hopefully we're going to just quickly test fit that to show you. We're going to take this piece off and we're going to remove that blue cap. So when we look underneath, this piece should go into there and then do up onto there. So yes, it does. And there we go. That's where your washing machine inlet goes. So you've got a washing machine inlet there. Now we know for the other one, we've already got one on the trap. And there is also a third place to put an appliance hose. But as you can see, that's my hand in there. You have to actually knock that out. So you put a screwdriver in there and you tap that through. I don't like to use these ones because the water is coming into the top part here, not straight into the trap. It can be a little bit noisier. It can be a little bit smellier. Smellier, I don't know whether it makes too much of a difference. It's very rare that you ever need to use that, but on some cheaper kitchen sink units, not the ceramic ones, that will take the overflow. So if you imagine your basket strainer sometimes has the overflow going up to it, that is what would take the overflow, so that you don't have to, you just pop it off of the old one, you pop it straight onto this new one, and that would, still have to punch it out, but that would be your overflow. Now, obviously on these, there's no overflow whatsoever. They're so big that they presume you're never really going to overflow it. You do see some ceramics with overflows built in, and you'll see them on the side. Don't really get yourself bogged down and worried too much about that. But it's there if yours needs it. So all you do, screwdriver, hammer, punch it through. It sounds scary doing it, but it's actually not. It's just a little piece of plastic that's already kind of pre-cut. So we need to attach this piece to this piece. And as you can see, well, that doesn't really fit in there or seem to do well. So in your pack of fittings, you're going to have this gasket here. This goes straight over this part here. It just pops over there like that. Then you have a really thick washer here. And what that does, that goes over here. So there's actually a groove inside of it. And that piece, that lip of the plastic actually sits in that groove. So we're going to put that on. And you want to make sure that that sits nice. It's sat on there nice, look, all nice and straight. And you can test that just by spinning it. If it spins nicely without coming off, then you know it's fully inside of that inner ring. So now that will sit in there, and you can see it will do up either side. So you've got these little bolts. Now you can either use, I think it is probably 11 mil driver. Let's see, I might actually have one here. 11, no, that's 9 mil. Okay, so it's a bit bigger than that. So let's say it's, I don't know, 10 or 11 mil.
But you can also just use a flat-headed screwdriver. So that's all I'm going to use is this flat-headed screwdriver. Just going to put it in. There we go. It started it off. Right, so if you bring this closer to you so you can see what's going on. Let's put in the second one and screw that in there like that. Now exactly the same with everything else. We're going to screw these in tandem, so we're not going to over tighten one side. We're going to just nip them up and then we're going to take turns tightening until they're fully engaged. Now these just lock out, they can't really go. If you over tighten them, you will potentially end up ruining the unit. So never over tighten anything. There we go. Right, we'll make sure that that is lined up. And there we go. We're pretty much all set. Now, it does come with a nut, and it comes with this here, this piece here. Now you can straight pipe it where you don't actually put the trap on. Now if you have a gully outside, now this one actually does have a gully outside, which I'm going to just show you quickly. So a gully like this, so essentially you have the trap under the ground outside, and then you've got a piece of pipe, and you can cut this just slightly higher, so you've got an air gap. And basically, they're not really very smelly, and they obviously they're dry, and you clean them out yourself by putting stuff down there like citrus fruit. Put citrus fruit down there, it'll make it smell nice. But if you have washing machines, dishwashers and appliances going into it, I would suggest that you always put the trap on. Number one, you've got all of your inlets, especially like this one. They all used to go into the trap. So really, we need to put a trap on, and it's going to stop the smells. But if you have an outside gully, and say it's a secondary basin, so if you have one main basin and then a second subsidiary basin, which is quite common, you see quite often on stainless steel sinks, then what you can do is pipe straight out and into the gully if you have a gully. Now the reason I'm saying if you have a gully is because it's trapped. Yeah, you're going immediately into a trap, so there's not really any bad smells that should come up. But if you have an internal or external soil stack that it goes into, you're putting it into the sewage. And therefore you're going to get nasty toxic fumes that are going to make you ill and not going to be good for you, coming straight out of your kitchen sink. And therefore you'd need to put a trap on anyway. So there are times that you don't need to put a trap on it. Now I've done that in the past. A lot of people commented and said, why didn't you put a trap on? But that's why. Certain situations, because you get a better flow rate as there's zero restrictions. Right, so here's the fun bit. I'm putting it on because you've got to kind of get your hand under it and balance it. I've also got that light right in my eyes, but it's better for you guys if there's a bit more light, isn't there? So let's start the process. Lift it up 2. Oh, and it is heavy. So we're going to just lift it up 2. And then we're going to pull these round and hopefully they all locate. So they've all located. So I can actually take my hand away there. But we need to tighten this, push this up 2. So get that rubber going up into the piece above. And that's where we're going to put this bit in. And we're just going to tighten. Now there's only so much you can tighten this before obviously it's going to slip off the end of the rail and the whole thing's just going to fall off. Now that rubber is so big and so generous that that is enough and that should seal. So let's get cracked on with the rest of the stuff. So we're going to connect up our washing machine hose. Put that in there. And we're going to just tighten that down now, just make sure we don't cross thread that piece. There we go. Tighten that on there. And now we're going to put our old trap back on. So with reusing anything, we are just going to clean it all. And we're going to wipe it all down. So I've got some cloths. Now with these ones, we're just going to get the cloth, then we're going to ram a screwdriver and we're just going to go around it. So I've got the screwdriver in there. I'm just going to go round. And there we go. There's all a load of muck off there. Spray it with some anti-bac. And then we're going to rinse it all out. So just give this trap a real good clean up. So now when we put the washer back in there, there's going to be no restrictions as well. And also, when do you ever clean a trap? I don't know. There you go. Reuse, recycle. And it saves you going out and having to buy a new one. When the customer says, oh, yeah, sorry about that, I didn't clean up under the sink, I'll go, oh, that's okay. And then you just charge them for a trap that you didn't actually replace. Yeah, David, take that. I know you don't even watch my videos. Well, you watch the ones on TikTok, not on YouTube, but. Right. Let me clean up this sink now, and then we'll go get it fit. Alright, so that should fit in there nice and snug. And we're just going to tighten that up. Now we're not going to over tighten this. You don't over tighten anything in plumbing. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to loosen off these joints slightly, which allows us to move anything any way that we want, which will help us get things in position. So, move everything apart so we can actually go around like this, we can change the direction, and we can line it all up with our waste pipe. Okay, so this is where we have to actually do some plumbing, because we need to get this pipe into this trap. Now obviously it's not the right height or anything, so what we need to do is we need to make a mark, and we need to cut it there. We need to put an elbow on and go straight in with a piece of pipe. Right, so I'm just going to take this moment just to tell you, you know, it's free to hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and you get loads of plumbing videos and plumbing tips and tricks. Might not be just an INSINKORATOR. You might think, oh, I want to fit something else, and you'll need me. Possibly. Don't know. Anyway, or at the very least, you got this far, hit that thumbs up. Hit the like. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Is it a like? You thumbs up a video, don't you? Thumb it up. Thumb a lift. That is very nice. What is it? Watermelon Jamaican Sunrise by Levi Roots. There you go. I even give good recommendations on beverages. Right, back to the video. Right, so we're going to be doing some repiping now. This pipe under here is a solvent well pipe. So you need to use solvent well fittings. Oh, it's a bit bright back in there. Now, the only thing with solvent well fittings is there are two types of elbows. There are these which are called swept bends, and these which are called knuckles. Now you can see it's a much sharper, tighter bend, whereas come on, Sam, I'm leaving this in. This is a swept bend, and obviously the water flows through better. You're going to get less blockages using these, so that is what we're going to be using. Now I'm going to cut it back a bit, and I'm going to put on a socket, just so that we can have a bit more room, tidy up the pipe work a little bit, and so it all looks nice and shiny. Right, let's get to it. Okay, well I'm just going to get cracked on with doing the pipe work, so I'm just going to cut it back here, so I can just put a socket on and renew the pipe work back here. Ugh. Let's get that cut. And there we go. We'll remove this piece. Check it. As you can see, it's nice and clear. So we've got no issues with blockages or anything. And I'm just going to repipe this up. Right, so pipe work is all done. All I'm going to do is tighten all of these joints. Now, we still need to put in that washing machine feed. So, remember how loose it was? We actually need to cut this further back. So this actually tapers up, and so it actually goes on the larger bit section here where it tapers up. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cut this down. So take that off, and then this one should push on. There we go. Right, make sure everything is nice and tight. That one there. That one in there. Right, okay. Now, we need to test that it's watertight. So our plug is this, but it's not actually really a watertight plug, to be honest with you. When you go to fill up your bowl, it will fill up, but if you turn it off, eventually this water will actually just drain through, because there's not really a proper good seal around this, in my opinion. It's more just the weight of the water keeps it held down on top. Anyway, let's fill this up and we'll get it tested. Okay, there we go, we'll turn that off. And we are going to release this plug here. Put that over there. Right. So we're just going to test and see if we've got any little leaks. Hopefully that should all be fine. Right, so this is a model 46. So let's have a little look, see what we got. So sound reduction, same on all of them. 3 stages of grinding, we haven't got that, we've only got the 1 stage. Horsepower, 55 horsepower. It's only the last 3 upgraded ones that have larger. 2 years warranty, shortest warranty of all of them. Galvanised steel, which the rest is stainless steel. Okay, that's interesting. Now there's no air switch, so we don't have to worry about drilling out an air switch and putting an air switch in. On this one, all it is you go underneath and you turn it on. And that's it. There's not really anything more to this. And when you want to turn it off, you've got to come back under and turn it off. So what would usually be the last bit of the video, which would be putting in your button. Obviously we're not going to do that, but you would think about where you're going to put it if you've got the version with the air button. So you might want to maybe put it here somewhere, so you can push it there, so you can just stand here and tap it, or drill through the granite, which obviously that's quite a task. Or if it's a stainless steel sink, you might have a cutout on one of the sides, or you can cut through the stainless steel sink and put it maybe in the corner or somewhere else. Now, with the type with the plug like this, obviously you are bending down, but if say you had a switch here, you could maybe pull it up through there and just switch it on and off there. Right, so I've come up with an idea so that the button, we've basically got one. So this is a fuse spur. That one, sorry, is a fuse spur. This one is permanent, right? So the dishwasher and washing machine are now permanently on. Now the INSINKORATOR now works from this switch here. On, off. So you just lean over and you flick it on and off there, and you just put a label on it. Not a problem. Only thing is, we need a permanent live for that Ring doorbell. So I've got to find somewhere else to plug it in. Oh, hang on a minute, what's that? Right. This is only temporary, but look how that box is cut. I found some sellotape. I made my own lamination. I've unscrewed this and then just dropped that behind there. Food waste disposer, yeah? So you know what that is? It's stood next to the kitchen sink. How do I turn this on? Oh look, food waste disposal. Bosh! Oh, just such a genius, mate. I'm just unbelievable. Hit that subscribe button. You know the drill. Right, on to the next one. So, end of the video. This home is by David Lovely Residential. Now, they've got places all over the Cotswolds. I think it's called Luxury Retreats. Either way, I'll link it in the description below so that you can check them out if you're ever staying in the Cotswolds and you need a house to rent or whatever. And they also come up for sale now and again, but they're great big lovely Cotswold properties. I mean, look at this, look at the garden, look at that view. Okay, the sun's a bit much, but this is where you could be sat just dining with your family on holiday because you're going to holiday in the Cotswolds. I just live here. Luxury. Right, that's me done. And then have a little log fire, look. Can't go wrong, can't go wrong. Right, I want to piss off. I'm done. That will do temporarily until they actually make up a proper sticker that says whatever they want to say, food waste disposal or whatever. So, I'm off to do the next job. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. I have got footage from earlier today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to whatever jobs I do tomorrow and then put out a mini job-in video of loads of little bits and bobs. So if that's the type of thing that you want to see, subscribe, do whatever. Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. I don't know. Saying, oh, look at you, you're so cool, ain't you? Being a plumber. God, I've dragged this ending out too long. Right, bye.